Magandang araw mga kabayan. So, welcome sa first part of the op-amps made easy na video in Tagalog. And ang purpose nitong video is turuan kayo kung paano i-approach yung mga op-amps problem sa madaling paraan. So, ito yung itsura ng op-amp. Let's review first yung basics ng op-amp and then let's solve right away. So, ito yung basics ng op-amp. Meron siyang dalawang inputs. So, let's call that V plus and V minus. Or, in other words, yung plus is the non-inverting input and then yung minus is the inverting input. And then, meron siyang V out. So, yung V out, meron siyang isang output which is called V out. Now, there are three things to remember when trying to solve op-amps. So, nilista ko sila lahat. Ang una-una, ang kailangan nating matandaan ay yung dalawang inputs, pag masolve mo yung voltage isa sa kanila, pwede mong i-assume na yung voltage na yun is nasa kabila din. In short, the V plus is equal to the V minus. Yun lang. Second rule is that there is no current on inputs. This is a very important rule kasi i-apply natin yung KCL. So, always remember, walang current papunta dito. Third is that wag nyong i-apply yung KCL sa V out na node. So, kung mag-decide kayo paano i-solve yung V out or any other nodes sa op-amp, lagi nyong tandaan lang para hindi kayo mahirapan is hindi nyo pwedeng i-apply yung KCL sa V out. So, let's get started sa first problem natin. So, ito yung first problem natin galing sa Sadiku at the section 5.3, problem 5.9. So, this is our first problem. So, remember the first rule? It was that two inputs are the same. The V plus is equal to V minus. In this case, sa problem natin, nagsimula na tayo na may voltage source sa plus as a non-inverting input. So, dito may 4 volts. Right. So, remember the first rule? That means ang node dito is equal din sa 4 volts. Ayan. Anong yung second rule? Walang current sa inputs. So, dito, yung current dito, wala yan. Third rule is bawal i-apply yung KCL dito sa V out. So, yung V out natin nandito. V out. So, how do we solve this? We apply KCL sa pinakamalapit na node ng V out. So, since V out yung hinahanap or VO, then we apply the KCL sa closest node, which is here. Let's call this VA. For now, so VA. So we will be applying the KCL to the VA. So, paano nga yung KCL? Lahat ng current papasok is equal siya sa lahat ng current na palabas. All current entering the node is equal to the currents leaving the node. So, let's assume currents. Pwede tayong mag-assume lang ng any direction. So, ito yung papasok. Let me redraw. Ito yung papasok. And then, ito yung current na palabas. So, KCL at VA will be 1 milliamp is equal to current, yung current papasok will be 1 milliamp. Ang current palabas will be the current here. Diba? So, ano yung current dito? Paano nga i-solve yung current? Current is equal to voltage over resistance. Ang voltage naman na tinutukoy dito ay yung voltage across the resistor. So, always remember, the current flows from higher potential to lower potential. Yan yung flow ng current. So, yung voltage dito is voltage kung saan siya galing minus voltage kung saan siya papunta. So, saan siya galing? Galing siya sa 4 volts. Saan siya papunta? Sa V out. So, yung voltage dito will be 4 volts, 4 minus V out. Over yung resistance na dinaanan niya, which is 2 kilo ohms. So, that will be our I. So, ito yung I na palabas. And then, let's draw the equation again. Ayan, is equal to itong equation na to, 4 minus VO over 2 kilo ohms. Pardon my drawing. Ayan. To make this equation easier, let's multiply both sides by the denominator to remove the denominator. So 1 milliamp multiplied by 2K. So let's have our calculator here. 1 milliamp multiplied by 2000 will be 2. So 2. And it will, dito sa side na to, ma-remove na to. So maging 4 minus VO. Yan. And then, after solving this, mas prefer nyo bang black ink? We will be transferring the VO sa left side and then yung ibang value sa right side. Let's just isolate VO. So the equation will become VO is equal to 4 minus 2. VO will be equals to 2 volts. So ayan, we have solved the op-amp problem by applying the 3 rules na na-mention ko kanina. So kung mayroon lang kayong questions or mga concept na hindi magets, you are welcome to leave your questions at the comment section. So with that said, punta na tayo sa next problem. So this is the problem 5.9 pa rin sa section 5.3 ng Sadiku book. So now we have an op-amp na may dalawang voltage sources sa inputs. Now remember yung 3 rules. Number 1 is that these 2 inputs are always equal. Kasi may ang short explanation dyan is because meron tayong closed loop. So paano natin ma-determine if may dalawa tayong voltage source? Well, always remember that everything is relative to the ground. So ito yung ground natin. So relative to the ground, this will be 1 volt. 1 volt. That means, if nasolve na natin yung voltage ng isang input, then we can assume na ito din is also 1 volt. Right? So what happens to this voltage source? Well, the voltage source, since nandito yung positive and then negative, so ito yung high potential and dito low potential. There will be 2 voltage difference between these 2 nodes, ito and ito. So that means itong VA na to, VA will be equal to ito, 1 volt node, 1 volt minus, kasi yung 1 volt pababa siya. Ayun na to, pababa siya. Voltage drop siya. So, from high potential to lower potential. So, minus siya ng 2 volts. Pagbaliktad naman tong sign na to, then gagamitin natin is plus. But in this case, pababa siya. So, VA will be equal to negative 1 volt. Ayan. Okay. So, may negative 1 volt na tayo dito. Next is, dito, always remember din na, tama pala, always remember, walang current na dumadaloy dito. Right? So that means, same branch kasi sila lahat dito. So wala ding current dumadaloy dito. I is equal to 0. Dito din, I is equal to 0. So if walang current dito, and walang current dito, that means yung dito din, yung current din dito, is equal to 0. So remember yung 3 rules kanina, that's very important kasi ito, apply natin yung second rule. Since walang current dito, and then wala ding current dito, ilan yung voltage drop dito sa resistor? The voltage drop is equal to ito, VR. Let's make VR. So voltage drop from higher potential to lower potential. VR is equal to resistance times current. Now, current is 0. So, R multiplied by 0. So, VR actually is equal to 0. So, walang voltage drop dito. That means, in other words, itong resistor na to is equivalent to short circuit. Yan, wala siyang voltage drop. Any resistor that does not carry any current will only carry yung voltage to the other side. So, kung 1 volt dito, yung resistor na to, i-carry niya lang yung voltage to the other side. So, dito will be negative 1 volt. Ganun lang. So, this node will be negative 1 volt. So, meaning ito din. This node will be negative 1 volt. So, relative to the ground, we have negative 1 volts here. And then dito 0. So, VO, we have solved it as yung VO is voltage across the resistor, voltage difference across the resistor. So, negative 1 volt minus 0 VO is equal to negative 1 volts. Ayan. So, we have solved the problem. And if you have any questions, please let me know. So, hindi pala natin ma-apply pala dito yung voltage divider kasi wala naman palang current dito. Tapos, iba yung current na dumadaloy dito. So, we have I1 and I2. So, buti na lang napansin natin na same branch pala siya ng input, yung feedback nito. That means, wala siyang current, and walang current, we can ignore this resistor. So, from, again, review, 1 volt dito same. Nag-voltage drop lang siya ng negative 1. And then dito, walang voltage drop. So, kinary niya lang yung voltage. And then, ayun, may negative 1 volts tayo. So, hopefully, naintindihan nyo yung simple way of approaching op-amp problems. Let me know again sa comment section if may mga hindi pa kayo naintindihan or may mga malabong concept pa para sa inyo. Okay, let's proceed to the next problem. Okay, for the third and last problem, we will be solving the problem from section 5.1, problem 5.8 from the Sadiku book. So, in this problem, we have an op-amp that has a feedback loop. So, when you see this type of op-amp where it has a feedback loop that has no resistor, so it has no feedback resistor, it is called a buffer. That means what it does is whatever voltage is in one input, ang gagawin niya is i-reflect niya lang or i-mirror niya lang yung voltage dito. So let me show you, okay? So again, let's apply the 3 rules. Number 1 is same always ang dalawang inputs. Number 2 is walang current na dadaloy sa mga inputs. So current dito is 0. Current dito is 0. So, here, given na may 6 volts tayo. That means, dito din, may 6 volts din. It is shorted all the way here. So, dito, may 6 volts na din tayo. Yan. And then, ano daw yung VO? What is the power absorbed by the 4K resistor? So, ang one approach ko na gagawin dito is alamin muna ilan yung voltage across dito sa resistor na to. So, let's make it VR. Ilan yung voltage across dito? So, remember the voltage divider formula? So, the voltage divider formula is V is equal to voltage source, so pinataas, multiplied by the resistance in question na resistance ng voltage. Ito yung resistance parallel sa voltage. So, ano yung parallel ng voltage na natin? Yung 4K. So, yan yun. And then, summation ng lahat ng resistor in series. So, dito, let's make this. So, lahat ng summation ng resistance. So, let's apply. So, ilan yung voltage source natin? That will be 6 volts. And then, yung resistance na parallel sa voltage na hinahanap natin is 4K. So, 4K ohms over 4K, summation ng lahat ng resistance in series. So, 4K ohms plus 2K ohms. Yan. equals, that will be 6 volts times 2/3, diba? That will be 4/6, which is equal to 2/3, diba? 2/3. Yan. And then, divide natin both sides. So, that will be equals to 4 volts. So, we know now na there is a 4 volt across this resistor. Yan. So, remember yung formula ng power? Power is equal to voltage times current. And remember, wala sa atin dito is yung current. So, ano yung formula ng current nga? Current, so let's make divider yan. Current is equal to voltage over resistance. So, i-exchange lang muna natin to. Substitute muna natin. So, power is equal to voltage times current, which current will be V over R. So, ang other formula din ng power is V squared over R. So, using yung na-solve natin na values, there is a 4 volt across the 4K resistor, and then there will be a 4K ohms resistance. So, power is equal to 4, dito natin nilagay, 4 squared over 4K ohms equals 16 over 4,000. So, let's get our calculator. 16 divided by 4,000. So, we have a 4. The power is equal to 4 milliwatts. Yan. So, we have solved this problem. Okay. So, that's all for this part 1 of op-amps made easy. Hopefully, I was able to explain yung mga paano i-approach yung mga op-amp problems na naiintindihan nyo. If may mga parts na gusto nyong ma-improve, may questions kayo sa how the problem was approached, then please do let me know. Feel free to comment down below anong pwede kong improve, anong questions nyo, anong mga problems na gusto nyong i-solve ko in the next video. Okay, that's all. Bye-bye.